Well, it's time to get back to work. I was really proud of our football team this past Saturday. I thought we came ready to play. We beat what I thought, in my opinion, was a really talented football team, and found a way to just kind of play to the very end and come out on top. So it was a huge win for our program, and yes, we did celebrate after with the opportunity to go play in the ACC championship game, but as of now, that's over with, and it's a one-game season. I think we all know what's coming up. It's a rivalry game against a really good, talented opponent that's well coached. That's won a lot of games against our program the last 4 years. So we've got to get back to work and really understand what this game means. It means a lot to not only our team but to our fan base, to our program, and we've got to find a way to have a great week of practice and work really hard and try to come out with a win. It's an important game, and we've got to put the work in and understand how difficult it's going to be because this team does have talent. They've played really good schedule. They've got good size and good length and good athletes, and we'll have to play well to win.
I know you've watched Kentucky play this year, but have you watched any of the past games in the series over the last 4 or 5 years? And if so, what do you think led to Kentucky winning as decisively as they did in most of them?
Well, I haven't studied all the past 4 year games, so to speak, but I've watched it from a fan. I think Kentucky's done a really good job building their program. They've been able to recruit good talent. They've been able to coach well. They've always been really solid on defense. Have a great deal of respect of what they've been able to do on defense consistently. This past year, they went back to their old offensive coordinator. He's been able to provide a spark there as well, and I think they're well coached. So I just think that they came ready to play, and they've won these last so many years. And I think for our program, we got to understand this is going to be a very talented football team that knows how to win football games, has competed against really good opponents all year long. They're not going to back down from us one bit. They're going to come in here wanting to win and put it to us, and we're going to have to respond. So I just think that our team needs to understand it's going to take our best performance and a really good week of practice, and we can't think about anything else other than trying to prepare to win this game.
Jeff, kind of take us through your history with this rivalry, man. I know, obviously you didn't get to play them. The rivalry started right after you left. But when you came on with Coach Petrino and being an assistant in the rivalry for a couple of years, what it means to you personally, as you know that, kind of helped build this stadium, this game did.
Well, I think rivalries are great to play in. Even back to my high school days, I understand the Trinity St. X rivalry and what that's all about. And not only does it mean a lot to your school, but to the fan base and to the city. And I think when it comes to in-state rivalries in college football and basketball, they're a lot of fun. And it's fun for everybody to be a part of them. Everybody wants to come to the game and watch it and cheer on their team and try to have bragging rights. And that's really one of the reasons you play sports is to provide entertainment and excitement for the fans, and to be able to at some point at least for a year brag on your team and being able to come through in a big rivalry game where fans know each other, players know each other, and there's just a whole lot of similarities within the whole mass of people. So I just think that both programs have had some ups and downs. I think for us, it's about trying to continue to win football games and keep momentum. And we've got a very, very good opponent that we've got to go against. But, I know our fans are going to be ready to go, and they're going to want to win this game. And I think our players need to understand how much our fans want to win this game. And so, we cannot have any letdown whatsoever this week. It has to be full speed ahead and 100% concentration on Kentucky.
Jeff, two questions for me. One, you mentioned just now kind of watching it as a fan. How much of, I guess, a mentality shift is that now to coaching it again? And then second as part is obviously Ray Davis has been big for them, and you guys have been driven a lot by the run game. So how much will that factor into Saturday?
Well, I think that when you speak about the rivalry, I didn't get to play in it, but got to coach in a little bit, and that's kind of when it started. And even as a fan, the basketball rivalry is fun as well. It's just a really big game that means a lot to this state, and you want to do your part to help your team win and be a part of that. And you know, this is a week across the country where there's a lot of rivalries going on, but this is a really big one, and we're excited to get a chance to play in it. And we have plenty of work to do to get ready for it. I think when it comes to Kentucky and their running game, that's their strength. They have an outstanding running back. They have an experienced quarterback. They have a good play caller who's coached a lot of football, and they want to run the ball, control the clock, play great defense, hit some play action off of it. And if they can get that going, they're going to win the football game. So when you play those type of teams, you got to be prepared for it. You got to try to take away what their strengths are. You got to do some things to make them do things that they're not as comfortable with. And it's important always to try to get a lead against teams like that, and that's not always easy to do. So, we've got to figure out a way to start fast, know who their top playmakers are. With that said, they've got good receivers as well. 3 guys that all have about 40 catches, and experienced quarterbacks. So, stopping them, we have to have a good plan, and they're going to be physical, and they're going to want to come at you, and we have to be able to respond and try to take away that to a certain degree.
Jeff, you had a lot of success in rivalry games during your time at Purdue. What do you think was the biggest piece behind your success so far as a head coach in rivalry games?
Well, I can't speak for anyone else, but I know, I take it seriously. Rivalry games mean a whole lot to me. Like I said, I've been a part of it. We're going back all the way to high school days and even in college. And I understand that it's more about our team playing the other team. It's about the entire city, community, and state and fan bases, wanting to, go out there and compete and hope that their team wins. So, this can make a lot of people happy or it can make a lot of people sad. And as a player, you don't want to make your fans sad and make them mad. So we've got to try to give them what they want. And in order to do that, we have to understand first the challenge that's ahead, which is a really good, talented football team. And we have not been able to beat them here in the recent past. And in order to do that, we're going to have to play better and play really good football. And we found a way at Purdue to kind of win the Indiana game, but it was always tight, and it was always going to go into the fourth quarter. You just kind of got to hang in there and try to make less mistakes than the other team, and find ways to create a few more big plays, and hope that you come out on top. But it definitely is a very, very important game that we've got to try to find a way to win.
I wanted to ask you about the kicking situation. Obviously, Brock has been having some issues lately. One, how much do you work with a kicker when it seems like it becomes mental? And have you made the change to Lopez, or is that still a decision to be made?
Well, Brock has done some really good things this year. He's unfortunately he struggled a little bit the last couple of weeks. I do think that he's got to build his confidence back up. He's done some good things in practice. Sometimes you just overthink things, and when it comes down to it, you've got to, just like with a quarterback or any position, kicker or specialist, you've got to prepare and practice and work on the mechanical things that you need to. But at the same time, when it comes to game time, you got to be able to block things out and just cut it loose. And I think right now he's thinking too much, and I think he can get out of it. It's good to have Nick come in and do a good job. He's been kicking really good in practice. That's why it's important to have depth at each position and have competition, which they've had a good competition, just like at the punting position. There was good competition that we've adjusted that slightly. But I think all of those 3 guys will be available and up for this game, and depending on the situation we have and how they practice will determine at the end of the week.
Jeff, when you got the job here, Mark Stoops was asked a couple times about you, and he said just how much he liked you. What is your relationship with him?
Well, I like Coach Stoops. I think he's a really good football coach. He's a good person. He's been able to build up the Kentucky brand and program. He's a football guy. Comes from a football family, so I have a lot of respect for that. And I think he wants to win. He surrounded himself with some good coaches on his staff. He's been able to recruit good talent, and he's done a good job. So I have a great deal of respect for him, and it's going to take our best effort to win. I think I understand that. I hope our team understands that, and I'm sure they're going to come ready to play. They have a lot to play for in this game as well, and they're going to want to come in and knock us off in our home stadium. And if we're not able to prepare the right way and respond, it will not be a good day for us. So I think we have great respect for their program and their coaches and their players. And just like when you face another really good opponent, you've got to play well to win. And I think we've shown that we have the ability to do that when we can, and we've had the ability to not do good things if we don't play well against whoever we play. So that's why it's important that the preparation is good, but also the focus and execution on game day is even better.
Yeah, the tight ends had their best games of the season against Miami. Was that something you saw you might be able to use before the game or as the game developed? And can you talk a little bit about them individually and how they've improved since you've been here?
Well, that position is important in our offense, and we're continuing to work through that and get guys experience. We just happen to have a lot of guys this year that haven't played that position a whole lot. So it's not, when you come in and play a position, quarterback, offensive center, tight end, those are the hardest to learn right away. I mean, it's just a lot on your plate. There's a lot of things you got to know and understand. Tight end is a tough position. You got to be able to block. You got to be able to know line calls and line movements and who you're going to and the technique you use. You got to be able to get open on routes. You got to understand route adjustments. You got to be physical, but you got to be able to run up the field as well and catch the ball. So I think we've continued to work that position. They've done a really good job working in practice. It's going to be important that we continue to utilize that. When you face Miami, they had good corners. They had good size. They wanted to guard us tight. You got to be able to work the middle of the field. And the more we can work the middle of the field, the more things will open up on the outside. So I think Josh Lifton has done some good things. He understands what we're doing. Nate Kariski, has some potential. He's just young, so he's continuing to develop and had a really good day. Joey Gatewood is athletic. He just hasn't played tight end ever until he got here, but we need to figure out ways to make sure he gets in there and gets the ball and utilize him. But, completing balls inside the hashes to big physical guys is important to us, and we got to make sure that we continue to mold that and use that because it will help us when we're playing really good football teams.
A couple things on Kentucky. First of all, when you're watching the tape, Dion Walker, does he jump off the tape to you? Pretty impressive.
Well, he's basically like having two guys out there. He's that big. He's really big, and he's pretty athletic as well.
Leary, did you ever, in the recruiting process, that as he was transferring, did you all have contact with him?
Well, we look into all options. I know Devin was coming off of, I think, a shoulder surgery or some type of surgery in his pec maybe. But he was talented. He put up some good numbers at NC State, and he played some good football. So we knew when he went there, they were going to have a really good option at that position. And I think anytime you can provide experience at quarterback, it helps your offense. That offense is built around the running game and play action. They need a quarterback who can manage it and make throws when he has to. So I think he's perfect for what they're doing. No, their defensive line is big. They have legitimate size. 3 defensive tackles that are 320 plus. They have good size at their position. They've been really strong on defense the last 4 to 6 years. And as they get their offense going, if they can get both going, then they're dangerous. So we've got to figure out ways to score enough points and put them behind the 8 ball a little bit to make them throw a little more than they want. But they're a good football team. They're battle tested, and they've played good competition all year long. So they're not going to be hesitant coming in here trying to beat us.
With Isaac, where he is now, how does that compare to like when he first came in? What your expectations of him were in the running game, the explosiveness now, maybe as opposed to the power earlier? Is he doing pretty much what you expect, or has he just found something different since he's been in your system?
Well, I think Isaac has really done a great job for us. He came in as a transfer. He's got good size. He's got good speed. He's really got good hands. We felt like, adding him to the running back position would help us. Jawar, Maurice are really good players as well. But he gives us something different. He can run downhill. He's got physicality. He's got size. And, Jawara is a little different. If you give him space and give him some opening, he can shake and bake you, and he can go the distance. Isaac's going to run downhill hard, lowers pads, and if he does get open space, he can run as well. So he's been very valuable. He's been a great teammate. Probably wasn't getting the ball as much early on as maybe he would like, but he hung in there and practiced and worked hard. We had a couple little injuries here and there, and he's done a really good job. He's been able to stay healthy for the most part, but he's talented, and he's a great addition to that room, and we got to continue to utilize him because against really good defensive fronts and linebackers, to have a physical running back is very important to us. So he'll be a big part of our offense moving forward.
Jeff, kind of sticking with the running game just for Kentucky, Ray Davis, where does he stack up with some of the running backs that you guys have already competed against this year, and what makes him so dangerous?
Well, I thought we faced a good running back this past week, and I know he's a true freshman, but man, he was really good at Miami, and he was talented, and we had a hard time tackling him. So, we're going to have our hands full. This running game is good. They've gone against great defensive fronts already this year in Georgia and Alabama and even other teams, and they're going to try to run the ball right at us. Ran for 340 yards against Florida. I mean, these guys know how to run the ball, utilize their tight ends, utilize their offensive line, and play action off of it. So we got to have a good plan. We've had some good games to this point against some of that, but this will be a talented team at that position. I did not think it was our best game defensively last week by any means. They were able to get some big plays. They were able to run the ball at us. So we're going to have to improve and tweak some things and make some adjustments because we have to be able to, contain this running back because he's very talented and very strong.
Jeff, you've been a fan of this program, of this school. Can you appreciate the fact? I mean, you guys are 10-1. You're going to play in the ACC championship game, but there are some fans who, if you don't win this game, they're still not going to be happy. You keep.
Well, I understand that, and that's why after we let the last win sink in, we had to explain to our team yesterday in a lot of different ways that needs to be erased, for a full week, and the full focus needs to be on this game because. In my opinion, this is the most important game of the rest of the season. So we can talk about it all we want. This is the most important game, and our guys need to understand that preparing and trying to win this game needs to be the complete focus. And if we want to make our fans happy and give them a good Thanksgiving, we've got to go win the game. So we've got to, really crank this thing up this week and understand what we're going against and make sure that come Saturday we're able to execute at a high level because, this is an important game for everybody who's involved. Our fans will be out here wanting to see us win a football game against, a good SEC opponent, and we're going to have to play well to do it. Thank you.